Kia ora koutou. Hello, everyone. I'm Paolo Bertolin, Artistic Director of Whānau Marama, New Zealand International Film Festival 2024. And once again, I'm here for an interview with one of the directors of the films that we selected for the festival this year. And I'm especially glad to have here with us Boris Lojkine, the director of The Story of Souleymane, one of the films that really did well at the latest Cannes Film Festival, winning several awards in the Uncertain Regards section. And now the film is doing very well here in Wellington and Auckland, especially with a sold-out screening in Wellington. Welcome, Boris, and thanks a lot for giving us the time for this interview.
Hi, Paolo. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much again. I would like to start this interview the way I'm always doing it, by asking you to please introduce your film in your own words by telling us something about its theme or story and the approach you had on it as a director. Thank you so much.
The film is very simple. It tells 2 days of the life of a delivery guy working in Paris streets. It's 2 special days for him because those are the 2 days before his interview at the OFPRA, which is the office in France for asylum seekers. And so this is the 2 days he has to prepare himself for this interview, where he has to tell a story which is not his real story. And that makes it difficult, of course. So the film, in a very short time, in 48 hours, combines these two difficulties for him. First, he has this difficulty of preparing himself for this interview, and second, he lives in very difficult conditions. He works in very difficult conditions as a worker for a delivery app.
What is it that brought you to depict the life of an immigrant who is seeking for asylum, who is applying for refugee status, and in particular to depict his everyday plight trying to make ends meet?
I've already made a film about migrants. This was my first fiction film named Hope. It was the story of two African migrants trying to reach Europe. It was all shot in Morocco, although the history took place in Algeria and Morocco. And after this film, I always had the intention to make a film about what comes next, because this film, Hope, the end of the film is when the characters in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea sees the coast of Europe. And I had the idea, and many people ask me, so why don't you tell the following part? Why don't you tell what happened with the migrants when they are in Europe? And I was a little bit reluctant to do it because I made all my films far away. I made films in Vietnam, I made films in Africa, and it's not my idea to make films just next door. And that's what I did this time. So it's very different for me. It's a very different project. I shoot the film almost where I live, in center Paris. And I think what gave me the idea is when we had the restrictions in the COVID period, the streets of Paris were completely empty, except that all the people working for deliveries were there. So they were so visible for the first time. That they were the only ones in the streets. And then I thought, okay, that's something that is really interesting for me. First, as a theme, because it combines the most of this of the people who work for delivery app in Paris are undocumented. They have no documents. They are illegal migrants, and it was very interesting for me to tell to make a film about the conditions where they are living, which combine the problem of this illegal migration, the fact that they came to France without documents and they have to survive in France without documents, and the fact that they're working for this app, which is something very new, very contemporary, and tells something about this new form of capitalism. But there is also something in the project that is really something about cinema. From the beginning, I found that this guy on a bicycle in the streets of Paris would be something very cinematic, very interesting, and would give to the film a lot of energy.
And this guy is played by Abou Sangare, who also won an award in Cannes in a certain regard for his marvelous performance. I think one of the strengths of the film is exactly the fact that he embodies his character with such great passion. So can you tell us a little bit more about him? How did you find him and how did you work with him?
Yes, Abou Sangare is also undocumented. He also lives in France without documents. And that's a very difficult situation. We are working on it, but it's difficult because now in France we have no government. So nobody can really help us to sort of his situation. But we will do it, definitely. And he's not a delivery guy. And he never sought asylum because he arrived in France as a minor. So he should have been recognized as a minor, which is a different way to get papers in France. So his story is definitely different from the story of Souleymane, but he's close enough to embody this story. Sangare is a non-professional. He never acted before, and I met him like we do when we try to find non-professional actors. I began in the streets of Paris. I met all the delivery guys from Guinea, because the character is from Guinea, and then we didn't find our hero like that, so we worked through associations, and we met him in a little town of northern France through an association working for refugee, and that's how I met him. And I have to say, I love to work with non-professional actors. My first film, Hope, was only with non-professional actors, and in my second film, Camille, it was mixed, but also a lot of non-professional actors. I love the work we do together when it's like that, because of course, even if the people you choose are non-actors, when they will make the film, they will be actors, and they will have to be actors. So you have to bring them, and we do the way together, because it's a big challenge for them, but it's also a big challenge for me. And the way the time I spend with them during a lot of rehearsals, we did a lot of rehearsals. All the scenes of the film, we did it together before. We tried to do it, and this time for them is also a time for me, because after these rehearsals, I wrote back I wrote again all the scripts. I rewrote all the scenes, putting in the script all what we found when we were doing these rehearsals. So after that, the script is really with their words, with their way of doing things, and it's much more easy for them than to play, to act, because it's their way of doing things and it's natural for them. And for me, it's a very rich way of doing, because it gives to the script a lot of truth that it couldn't have without them. So it's really a process that we do together, the actors and me. And in this case, Abou Sangare and I, we did a lot of rehearsals, and this provided a much better script.
Thank you so much, Boris. This was very interesting, and I hope this will give even more a more insightful view to understand the film to our audiences. I look forward to other interviews, and I hope to find our audiences following us online again. Thank you so much.